Hi, everybody. Gonna wait just a moment for a couple more people to show up. Hope everybody's having a really good day. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Kiana. Hi, Melissa. Jamie. Hi, everybody. I feel like a romper room. I see Jennifer, and I see Lori, and I see Jamie. Okay, so today's topic of conversation, and don't worry if you missed the live video, I will upload it to YouTube after a bit. Today's subject matter is vanity presses. I have had 7 or 8 people message me, send me emails, asking me questions about vanity presses. And some of these people are confused between indie publishing and using a vanity press. They're two totally different animals. So when you self-publish, you are an independently published author. You are an indie author. That means you write the book, you hire the editor, you hire the cover artist, you hire your final proofers, you do all the formatting, you upload it to all your vendors, and you get to keep all the money. I don't know anybody none of my author friends use vanity presses. What a vanity press is, you've probably seen the commercials on TV recently. Have you written a romance novel, or have you written a Christian novel, or have you written a mystery novel and like to get it published in all the bookstores and blah, 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 blah? Those are vanity presses. How the author gets screwed with the vanity press is they require you, the author of the novel, to pay them bare minimum $4,000 to get your book published. If you are a newbie author, it shouldn't cost you anywhere near that to get your first book published. Depending on the length of your book and who you hire as an editor, some editors charge per page, some charge per word. Cover artist should be between $100 and $200. Final proofer, $100 to $200, again, depending on the size of the book. It shouldn't cost you bare minimum $4,000 to get your book published. Well, Jerry, why in the hell would anybody do it? Well, they're not educated in the difference between indie publishing / self-publishing and a vanity press. And these people are slick snake oil salesmen. They will promise you everything under the moon. Oh, we will get your books into bookstores. It will be in Barnes & Noble in 2 weeks. And it will be in your local grocery store and blah, 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 blah. And we will get your book in front of 1 million people within the first 6 months. And if you don't know any better, you don't know any better. So so let me say this. I have lots of friends who own their own publishing houses, meaning they publish works for authors, okay? Up and coming authors, newer authors, maybe authors who are, too busy writing to mess with all the publishing end of it. They never, ever, ever charge any money up front, ever. So if you go to one of these publishing houses and they tell you, well, we need $4, $5, $10, $20,000 to get the work started, then you run. You run as if the devil himself has just set your ass on fire. You do not pay money up front to any publishing house to get your book published. You don't have to. And you also need to look closely at the contract they're giving you. They could own the rights to your book in perpetuity, meaning forever and ever and ever and ever. So vanity presses, they're called that because they can take advantage of someone's vanity. You've written this book, you love this book, you want to publish this book, you want everybody to read this book, and they're going to play on those feelings. I don't know what that is, Michelle. I haven't heard of that one. Anyway, So vanity presses need to be avoided at all costs. If you or a friend of yours is saying, well, you know, I'm talking to this publishing house and they're going to get my books into all the bookstores and they guarantee X number of sales and blah, 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 blah. All I've got to do is come up with $5,000 to get started. You need to save them. You need to tell them that is a big no-no. That is not how indie publishing works. Okay? You almost did this, Erin? Yeah. Yeah. And they just take advantage of your lack of education. So that's why I'm here today, is to help you all get educated. So just avoid the vanity presses. If your gut says this isn't right, then there's a really good chance that you're going to be screwed royally. Now, what do you do instead of using a vanity press? Let's say you've come across a small publishing house. They don't ask for any money up front. You still need to read the contract very closely. I have got some friends who are going through something right now. I'm not going to mention any names, but an author started her own publishing house, and let's just say I was very disappointed when I found out what happened. One of my friends signed a contract. The original contract looked beautiful. It was perfect. You know, this publisher owns the rights to the book for 3 years. The author owns the audiobook rights and maybe the paperback rights, but this author-owned publishing house gets the ebook rights. And that's fine. A lot of even traditional publishing houses will do that. They only want your ebook rights, or they only want your paperback rights. That's perfectly fine. But what happened afterwards left me beyond livid. This publishing person changed the contract after it had been agreed to. So email one says, here's your contract. This is, I only get the rights for 3 years, and I only get the ebook rights and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that looks great. So she responded to the email and said, this looks great. An email came back saying, great, sign it and get it back to me. This person thought she was signing what she had originally read. She didn't bother to read it again because she thought it was the original contract. Turns out this shyster changed the terms of the contract from 3 years to in perpetuity. So after, it's forever. So she owns, and then she changed, I believe, it wasn't just the ebook rights now, it was also the print rights and the audiobook rights, changed the royalty payouts. So again, if your gut tells you something's not quite right with this whole back and forth, then you need to run, and run far, and run fast. Let's see, other ways that authors get screwed. I'm just trying to think. Being promised the moon and the stars and the heavens, and they will not deliver. I guarantee you that. So if you want to publish your book, you have three legitimate routes. Number one, do it yourself. And if you need help doing that, there are lots of really good online Facebook groups that you can join. I recommend, especially if you want to or are writing romance, join Romance Writers of America. That is the best place to start. There is a really good book called The Naked Truth About Indie Publishing. That's an awesome one. So publish it yourself. And again, that means you are in charge of everything. The book, the editing, you hire the editor, you hire the final proofer, you hire your cover artist, okay? And you upload everything to all the different vendors. There's Nook, there's Kobo, there's iBooks, and of course, Kindle. You set the price, et cetera, et cetera. Option number 2 is through a traditional publishing house. Now, I'm not a huge fan of traditional publishing houses just because I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I understand how they work, and I understand for a lot of authors, and it's great if you've got a traditional publishing deal with one of the big 5 New York publishing houses. I say that's fantastic. I am so happy for you. That's awesome. I personally wouldn't do it because I know what a pay cut it would be. And it would have to be what we call a hybrid deal, where they might have just the rights to my ebook, but I have the rights to the print and the audio. And there's just a whole bunch of different factors that if you're a new author, you don't need to worry about right now. So you could submit your work to a traditional publishing house, and that can take months and months and months to hear back from them. And that's because they literally get flooded every day with manuscript after manuscript after manuscript. The third way is through what we call a small press. Now, I will use my friend Catherine Levesque as an example, but don't be emailing Catherine or PMing Catherine right now. I'm just using her as an example. She does run a small publishing house, and I don't know if Entangled would be considered a small publishing house, but they're out there, and you can ask around. Ask your friends. Okay, for instance, you decide, well, this looks like a good small press. I think I'll go with them. Well, you need to do your research first, okay? Google the hell out of them. Cartwheel it. And that just means research from every different angle. Make sure there's, that they don't have a bad reputation. Make sure that they have an absolutely stellar reputation. You might have one or two bad, complaints about a small press or even a big press. But you have to take it for its face value. Why is this person complaining? Did they misunderstand the terms of the contract? Blah, blah, blah. So there are three ways you can publish: self-publishing, traditional publishing, and a small press. I'm trying to read the comments. Yeah, the do's and don'ts of the indie world. Oh, thank you. Read the contract every time it's sent before you sign it. Don't just read the first one, because there are shysters out there. Yes. Authors, well-known authors who shall remain nameless, who actually do this. They actually switch out the contracts, and you are screwed. Just screwed, and you have got to go to court to get it fixed because you signed a contract. But your chances of winning are very good. So yeah. Marketing is wide open with shady people. That's right, Casey Rice. They are just everywhere. They seek you out. Yes, if you receive an email from a vanity press saying, let us publish your book, run away, run far, run fast, run wide, run free, but run. They steal your money and hoping you don't know any better. Some of these presses will, vanity presses will take 95% of your royalties up until a certain threshold is met, and you end up with maybe, if you were lucky, $5 a month. It'll take you forever to recoup your losses. Smash words. Ronald, I'm not going to talk about smash words. Not a huge fan, but I don't want to badmouth it because lots of people use it. So okay, back up. So you decided to self-publish, but you don't own a Mac computer and you don't have a friend with a Mac computer. You have to have a Mac computer to upload your books to iBooks. But there are other ways around that without having to go buy a new Mac. We're Mac users in my house. We have everything Mac. But there is an awesome platform called Draft to Digital. And you can upload your ebook to Draft to Digital and decide where you would like to have it distributed. I've used them in the past. You can distribute it to Apple, Nook, Kobo, Bibliophile. There's just lots of different places. I recommend always going direct whenever you can. Draft to Digital will take a small fee, and it's very, very minute to distribute your ebook to these other places. For print copies, you can use CreateSpace, which is owned by Amazon. You can use Nook Press. Nook Press has an awesome paperback. You can do paperback and hardcovers with Nook Press. I love Nook Press. Or you can use Ingram and / Lightning Source. And small presses. Hi, Shannon. Small presses are fine. Small presses do a really, really good job and a huge service for authors. They do. I'm not bad-mouthing small presses. I think they're fabulous. I almost started my own once, but I decided that was right around the time my husband had his heart attack, and I'm like, I do not have time to run a small press or a small publishing house. Small presses are absolutely fabulous, and we need them, and I love them. There are, however, some who are shady, and you have to be really careful with them. Yeah, okay, good, Gail. I'm glad. Let's see. Entangled, Evernight Publishing, Siren Publishing are decent. Okay, I don't know Siren and I don't know Evernight, Siobhan, but I have heard of Entangled, and I've heard nothing but really good things about Entangled. So I'm glad that you all have indie presses. I think that's awesome. Let's see. You had Connie Cockrell had a phone call from one of these scam places yesterday. I bet that was interesting. Connie, how much money did they want up front, or did you even get that far? Oh no, Kim Hines, I am so sorry. Yeah, you make a heck of a lot more money self-publishing than you do with a vanity press. You're just not going to make any money with a vanity press. And even some small presses or small publishing houses are out to screw people. It's only about the money for them. They don't care about anything else. So do your research, do due diligence, research the hell out of everything. And if you're still not sure, ask an author, someone not with that press. Ask someone else. Or if you can, find out who else is with that press and talk to them. But do your research. Research. It's vital. Again, one of the really good books that I know of is The Naked Truth About Indie Publishing. Mark Dawson, he has the self-publishing formula that can help you with marketing and such. Author H.M. Ward does some marketing classes, so she's really good. But yeah, Draft to Digital is really good. You know who I miss, guys? And that's Pronoun. We had Pronoun. Oh my God, they were the most awesome place to work with, but they shut their doors. So Draft to Digital is really, really good. Gail says, I use D2D as a publisher and love the routes I can take with them. Makes my life much easier. Yes. So Draft to Digital act like a publisher, but you don't necessarily have like a real contract with them. It's one of those online terms of service agreements. So some people can get confused with the word publisher. So let's see. Yeah, D2D has great customer service. But that's after you've written the book, after you have had the book edited, after you've had it final proofed, after you have got your cover. Then you go to Draft to Digital to distribute to those places. You don't really, I personally don't think you need them to upload to Amazon. However, I'm starting to change my mind on that because there have been so many authors who have had their release days just ruined because something happened at Amazon. There was some kind of glitch in the system or whatever. I've even had it happen to me. Last year when I was releasing, I think, Brogan's Promise, that just got screwed up to no end. So it might behoove you to use Draft to Digital to upload direct to Amazon. That way you have someone fighting on your side if there is an issue of some sort. Yeah, running a small press is a lot of work, and I don't need to add any more to my plate. Oh, I love you too, Shannon. You are such a sweetie. And you could do both. How did I get known, Ronald? I wrote books. Do you mean, I'm not quite sure I understand that question, Ronald. How did I get known? Do you mean how was I? Okay, so for those of you who don't know my story, it kind of pisses people off, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. Some people, not everybody. So for my birthday one year, my husband, back in 2010, gave me a Kindle for my birthday, and I was instantly hooked. And he had connected the Kindle to his credit card, not knowing what kind of a reader I was. So after the first month, he came to me and with really big eyes saying, Susie, we got to have a talk. Do you know you spent like $48 on books last month? And I'm like, oh, really? Is that all? So anyway, he put me on book rations. So I had to go find free books. So the first free book I found was a Highland. Now, I had never read a romance novel in my life. I'd always read mystery novels and thrillers. You know, Ed McBain. God, I loved Ed McBain. You know, Nora Roberts, all the big ones. So anyway, so I found this free book from Lauren Wittig, and it was a Scottish historical romance, a Highlander novel. And I was instantly hooked. Now, I've always written my whole life. Always, horribly, painfully introverted as a child. So I would make up stories in my head where I had lots of friends, I wasn't so shy, blah, blah, blah. And that just kind of carried through life. And it helped me get through some really difficult times, just getting out of the actual reality of a moment and going somewhere that wasn't real, that made me feel safer or better. So anyway, I started getting this idea in my head about a book. And so I started writing it. I was getting up at 3:30 every morning to write this book. We only had one computer at the time, an old PC. And my husband thought I was getting up at 3:30 every morning to play Farmville. So I'm getting up every morning to write this book. And I thought I had it hidden in a folder on the computer. Well, he found it. He was doing some work to the computer and he found the book. So he asked me about it. And of course, I'm just embarrassed as hell. And I told him this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get my mom a Kindle for her birthday. And I thought it would be a riot if when she opened up the Kindle for the first time, the first book that was on there was something I had written. So, and I told him, I said, I think there's, you know, a cord that I can get that goes from the Kindle to the computer, and I can, you know, take my little story and put it on the Kindle. Well, my husband is wonderful. God, I love this man. I'm serious. People, if you ever need anything researched, he's your guy. This man, he researches the hell out of everything. I like to joke that if you want to know if a bumblebee has nipples, you ask Kevin because he'll research it for you. So he comes back to me a few days later and he says, honey, there is no cord, but there's this thing called Kindle Direct Publishing. Well, I had seen that, but I wasn't sure what it was and what it was all about or anything. But he said, so what you do is you finish writing the book and then you go to KDP and you upload it and you can sell it on Amazon. And then you just buy the book and put it on your mom's Kindle. Like, okay, I can do that. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to buy it. I mean, people, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Not one stinking solitary clue. I didn't even think about a cover until it was time for me to upload the book. And then I just slapped one together because I used to do pencil portraits of people. So anyway, I slapped together this really crappy cover and format the book and upload it to Kindle. Now, this is December 9th of 2011. Again, didn't have a clue. I didn't have an editor. I didn't have a final proofer. I had nothing. Just me. So I uploaded it. And my secret desire, my secret, deepest, darkest dream was that if I could sell this book to 7 people who did not know me, I would feel successful. Just 7 books. That's all I wanted to sell to 7 strangers. That's all I wanted. So I don't know what the hell happened, but by February of 2012, 2 months later, it was number 3 at Amazon. I don't know how I did it. I didn't market. I didn't buy advertising. I did nothing. So I kept thinking that Amazon's going to come back and say, we want our money back. We made a mistake. You know, there was a glitch in the system or wherever. Well, they did call, and first they emailed, and I thought it was my friend Catherine Lebeck pulling a joke on me, so it was kind of rude. But Amazon did call, but it was to give me my own KDP rep, and he was awesome. He's not with the company anymore, but he was just tremendous. And so that's how I got started. And people started messaging me on Facebook, you know, and seeking me out, going, when's the next book out? When's the next book out? I'm like, shit, I gotta write another one. So I did. So that's how my career got started. I hope that answers your question. It was an accidental journey. It was not, I didn't intend to have the success that I've had. I'm very grateful for it. I'm very, very blessed. I mean, I know how blessed I am. So that's kind of how I got started. I hope that helps. Desert Breeze like to see more reach, and it lessens my workload. Exactly. D2D will lessen your workload because you only upload it there and choose where you want it to go, and you don't have to mess with anything else. And they do take a small percentage, but it's not exorbitant. Nothing that would make your sphincter prolapse. What is the best way to promote ourselves since we do not have a company doing such for us? Well, Julie, the best. God. See, mine was so accidental. I will tell you things not to do. Okay? Don't message other authors saying, hey, like my page. Hey, read my book. Don't do that. That's rude. And we simply don't have time. However, if you have established a relationship with an author, you can say, I'm brand new. Would you mind liking my page? I'm okay with that. You can invite me to like your page. I'm okay with that. But for actual promotion, I'm going to say be honest and be genuine and be kind at all times, even when you get a bad review, because trust me, I've gotten bad reviews. Even if you find, someone has hurt your feelings or whatever, you just got to let that go. I also recommend investing in the SPF formula, the self-publishing formula by Mark Dawson. He teaches you how to do Amazon ads, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, all sorts of really different things, and I have learned a lot from using his marketing courses. Another good one is H.M. Ward. She has some marketing courses that she's doing, and she takes a slightly different approach than Mark does. But both are really, really awesome. I love that, Michelle. She says, I get gift cards from my Kindle account. The Mister never knows how many books I actually buy. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to upload this when we're all done. And I'm just trying to see if anybody has any more questions. Well, good, Casey. So anyway, is that Victoria Zach? Hi, Victoria. She's an honorary little sister. I've known Victoria for a long, long time. Anyway, just to promote yourself, be honest, be genuine, be kind. Always, always kind. Don't give your book away for free. See, a lot of authors do that. They write this first book, and then they don't have the sales that they think they should have, so they put it up for free. You are wasting money doing that. The only time you should put up a book for free is if you have 2 other books that you can sell them, okay? Especially if you write series. You put the first book up, I don't know what kind of price tag because every genre is different. Then you write the second book, and then you write the third book. When you release that third book, then it's perfectly acceptable to make the first one free. It's called a loss leader. It draws your readers in, gets them hooked, and makes them want to read the rest of the books in the series. So, oh, yours is not supportive about your writing. I'm so sorry. See, the smart ass in me would say get a new husband. But I'm not going to tell you that, Michelle. My husband's been very, very supportive. But I know there's lots of husbands out there. Okay. So, and this is not meant to be reverse sexism or anything like that. Don't take it like that, okay? This is just one woman speaking to all of you. There are 3 ways to make your husband happy. Money, food, and you know the third one, ladies. So if you can't feed him and you can't show him any money, you need to do the third one. If your husband is happy, he will want you to be happy. So I'm not against bribing him with an apple pie, pumpkin pie, whatever. But it could be that your husband is scared for you. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Maybe he's afraid. He doesn't want you to get hurt, okay? If he's a good husband, the last thing in the world he wants is to see you get hurt, okay? He wants to be protective. So therefore, he might not support you in a manner in which you want him to support you in the writing career. So that's a case where you two need to sit down and discuss with each other, you know, okay, this is what I need from you. This is what I want to do. This is why I'm excited about it. This is what I think could happen, blah, blah, blah. But then in turn, you got to listen to what he is saying. You know, maybe he's worried that you're going to fall prey to a vanity press and lose $5,000. Distinct possibility. So just talk to your husband. Yeah, more sales going through D2D. See, I have more sales going straight through B&M, but I have a B&M rep, so that makes a difference. Sphincter prolapse. Yeah, I'm sorry. The best marketing, exactly, Pam. The best marketing is to write another book, okay? Some people say, what do you do after you finish, you know, your book? You know, how much time do you take off? And, you know, what do you do? And blah, blah, blah. Well, usually after I finish one book, I take a couple hours to clean my house, and then I dive right into writing the next book. Usually I dive into writing the next book immediately after I'd finished, you know, book A, because I always put the prologue to my next book in that series at the end of the previous book. So I always immediately start the next book. So I very seldom take any time off. I have taken a lot of time off the last few weeks just because of, you know, all the cocky gate crap. Ooh, one of your books has 62 reviews. Okay. All right. Well, Ronald, that's a good way to start. I would really recommend Mark Dawson's SPF formula, self-publishing formula, because even though you're doing AMS ads, you might not be doing them in a way to benefit yourself the best. And I mean, he breaks it down to the nitty gritty and shows you how to do target words and such like that. I love you too, Victoria Zach. Who do I use for my paperbacks? I use CreateSpace and Nook Press. I use Nook Press because for several different reasons. One, I want hardcovers for some of my books. And number two, if you print your books through the Nook Press, the paperbacks through their paperback Nook Press printing platform, and you just have a better chance of actually getting your books into the Barnes & Noble bookstore. So, series starters, exactly. Everybody always wants a free book, but they don't always read them. That's one of the other problems. You is a smart cookie. That's right, Bianca. Let's see what else. Now we know the story of how awesome you are. Oh, God, you guys are so funny. I'm just like you all. Y'all are so sweet. Yeah. Thank you, Michelle Barnett. First rule of being an author is Yogi's Law. Money flows towards the author, not away from the author, other than your editor, your final proofer, and your cover artist, and possibly a formatter if you just really can't figure out how to format. Yeah, connect with people. Treat your readers like people. My God, we would not be here without our readers, right? My readers are freaking phenomenal. I love my readers. I tell them all the time, you know, if I could take you all to Scotland with me sometime, I would. I just love, love, love my readers. They are just amazing. They're supportive. They're wonderful. And if you get really good readers, they're not afraid to tell you the truth. So that's what we need. Yeah, that's right, BJ. That is really good advice. That's why I say don't be nice to people. This is why I say don't be nice to people. I don't understand that, Michelle. Let's see. Everybody's laughing. I don't know what the hell I said. So anyway, well, I love you too, Jennifer. You're awesome. Oh, you love the rules on keeping your husband happy? Yeah. I ain't no fool. Oh, Mama didn't raise no fool. Oh, you want that on a t-shirt, do you, Tracy? The 3 ways to keep your husband happy? Yeah, sex is always on my mind, Michelle. My poor husband. I'm sorry, that's probably TMI. There you go. Oh, that's good. And again, your husband might not be supportive because he doesn't understand what you're doing and what you want, and he might be afraid for you. So, you know, cut him a little slack and just have a really good talk with him. So I think I've covered everything. I will upload this to YouTube so that you all can go back and listen to what I said about vanity presses. Again, if they're asking you for money up front, run. Always read contracts. Yeah, so I love you all, but I have to run. I got to get back to 14th century Scotland. Uh, and because I've got some readers waiting for some stories. But anyway, I love you all. I think you're awesome. And remember, go Chesticles.